Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute since I've uploaded, but I've been busy with exams, and honestly, thank you for being so patient with me, and thank you for participating in my community posts, such as my polls and whatever. Like, to see everyone engaging and interacting with them honestly makes my day, so thank you for that. Now, as you guys saw in the screenshots in the beginning of this video, things got a little heated on Twitter between me and Kruise, who is the support main for the Paris Overwatch League team. And all the tweets that I posted were basically in response to a video by, surprise, surprise, the one and only Stylosa and Kruise, who talked about the Rework Mercy movement again. And basically I had some things that I wanted to clarify. Before I continue, however, I do want to apologize to Kruise personally, because I was a bit aggressive and angry and my tone was a bit pointed on Twitter unnecessarily, and I know that he was very civilized and polite about it, so that was my fault completely, and I do apologize for that. In saying that though, I do want to point out a few things that were said in that video that I wish to discuss and talk about with you guys in this video, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, before I even talk about the video, I just want to make sure you guys understand that this whole Rework Mercy discussion is not about balancing Mercy. It's about making her an engaging hero to play, where you actually feel like you're a hero with impactful moments. And this whole conversation started way back when Mercy was first reworked, where she lost her mass res and was given a new ultimate. And of course, all the nerfs and tweaks that she's gotten since, and now we're left with a hero that is not very engaging to play, and the only sort of fun that you can derive from playing her is pretty much from your movement abilities, where the use of text such as super jump isn't even meant to be a part of her kit in the first place. I also want to preface this by saying that I've been playing Mercy since day one of this game. I've been through all the changes, buffs, tweaks, nerfs that she's gotten. I've reached a pretty high rank with her as well. So to say that only the opinions of pro players are valid is sort of I think disrespectful, because I think you also need to take into account the opinions and the reasons and frustrations of people who have actually played Mercy since the beginning, and why they are pushing for this whole Rework Mercy movement in the first place. Now, in terms of Stylosa and Kruise's video, where I did make notes while I was watching it just so I could keep track of my thoughts, the key takeaways I got from watching this video was that 1, Mercy does have impact, but people just don't know how to play her effectively, yet ironically. 2, she doesn't fit into the meta currently, so you shouldn't be playing Mercy, but instead should switch to other supports. 3, mass res should never be brought back into the game, and there was no mention of any tweaks or bringing it back with like line of sight changes or anything like that. And most importantly, number 4, Mercy is completely fine. She does not need a rework. All she needs is a slight tweak to her healing and she'll be really good. With all due respect to Stylosa, and I thank him for his coverage and shedding light on this topic, I think he's missing the mark again on this Rework Mercy movement. Again, I stress that it's not about making Mercy balanced, it's about making her fun to play, and yes, while that's subjective, I think we can all agree that Mercy in her current state is a very one-dimensional hero, where she doesn't really have much going on in her kit. I want to point out that unless you have been playing Mercy from the beginning, you won't really understand where all this stems from. Even if a rework was to make Mercy harder, I think Mercy players would be fine with that, as long as she feels impactful and as long as you feel like you can actually do something in teamfights. And I can draw a very simple comparison. Let's take Symmetra for example. She's by no means a meta hero or someone that people see as a viable pick in comp, but she's still very engaging and very fun to play. And I think I can speak on behalf of most Symmetra mains that we are pretty happy with the way she is right now, even though we do think that she still needs a few tweaks. So that's pretty much my high level opinion, guys, of this situation. I'm now going to deconstruct some of the comments that were made in the video because they came across as pretty contradictory. Again, please don't take this personal. If you absolutely hate and disagree with everything I've said so far, then please save yourself some time and don't continue watching because you probably won't agree with what I have to say. Otherwise, grab yourself some popcorn and let's spill a little tea.
I don't know, with Mercy, I feel like she's just got a lot of small impactful moments, almost like small player game moments, you know? Like when I'm playing Mercy, I don't feel like I have no impact. I feel like I'm almost controlling the game a lot. Like my heals and me going for clutch reses and stuff like that is like super game changing and can swing fights a lot. And it feels good in game. I don't feel like a lack of satisfaction from playing Mercy, which a lot of people are saying they do with like a current kit. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just people not using a kit correctly or not understanding how powerful Mercy can be in certain situations, not knowing when to pull the pistol and go for Widowmaker, not knowing when to go in for like a crazy res.
Okay, I have to point out that Kruise's experience playing Overwatch as a pro player is very different to ours in solo competitive. First of all, most of the time he has a team that's willing to coordinate and communicate with him, so that removes a lot of the obstacles that you face when you play Mercy, where your team just does not know how to coordinate ults, they don't know how to work together to achieve a certain objective. He says that he feels like he does have impact with Mercy and that people just might not know how to play her as effectively as they could be, and you know, that could be true, but I can say from my experience as a Mercy main who plays mostly solo queue, that when I play it on my Smurf or alternate account, which is usually in Diamond, I absolutely have no sway whatsoever on any team fights, and that I pretty much am just there trying to heal as much as I can.
I definitely have like a nicer perspective of Mercy because I get the luxury of playing it in scrims or playing it with teammates that are good and stuff like that.
That's precisely my point. A lot of you guys who play at lower ranks don't have this luxury of having teammates that are willing to work together and to coordinate their abilities. But even if they did, your role as Mercy is pretty much to just stand there and heal them.
It would just be so nice to give those Mercy players those engaging moments because, you know, Sty and I willingly admit that I don't play Mercy. I play every support but Mercy.
Which by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just because you haven't got 1,000 hours on a hero doesn't mean that you can't comment on the hero, right? Like the issue, like I've got with Mercy with playing her on ladder is if I'm going to play Anna, or if I'm going to play Lucio or Zen, or God forbid Brig, or even Moira, all those heroes have got something they can do which gives you a bit of spice. Like, you know, Anna, you get that clutch nade off, you feel impactful, right? Mercy, a lot of the time, I'm sort of standing there healing, and I'm like, this is great. And then I might be looking around for my positioning or whatever, trying to look for other low targets where I need to heal. Maybe I need to damage boost somebody or whatever, or maybe I can res somebody. But I don't really have that same feeling of like, I can go over there and do something really good, you know, like, and it's not so much doing something good, but it's feeling like I've done something like, yeah, come on, I'm Mercy.
Later on in the video, Stylosa contradicts himself by saying that Mercy does not need a rework and that she just needs a slight buff to healing or some sort of tweak like that. But even if she gets that, that's not going to change the fact that you're not going to get any sort of impactful moments when you're playing her.
I think it's a little bit misleading when it's called Rework Mercy, because I don't think she needs a rework. And we covered this, didn't we, Josh, in quite a bit of detail, but it's not like she needs a complete rework. It's like she just needs a little bit, I think, here and there.
He literally just said that he doesn't play Mercy at all because she doesn't give him those spicy plays that the other support heroes can, but then he says that she doesn't need a rework and that all she needs is slight tweaks.
What do you think about mass res? I know what you're going to say to this, but God, what do you think?
It's been so long. I didn't even play Mercy back in those days, but like it's been so long that I can't remember. But I can't remember too well how I was feeling. But all I know is
hang on, you were playing Genji then. You were playing Genji then, right? Yeah,
it was nice having it, but like I don't know. Like
I want to stop the audio there and sort of point out that Kruise did not play Mercy at all when she had mass res, and he played Genji. So his opinion of Mercy 1.0 is that of a DPS player. So obviously it comes with a bit of a negative bias.
I hated it. Like, you could use Grav, you could use Genji ult, you could use 5 ults, or you could even use 6 ults. And then Mercy come along, press Q, her 1 ult would counter all your ults. Like, you could play perfectly, use 3 ults perfectly, get a team wipe or 5 kills, and then Mercy comes along and presses Q, uses 1 ult, and then counters all your playmaking ability, you know? And it's just like, I don't know.
I agree that mass res in its original form was a big problem for Overwatch, but there was no mention in this video of bringing it back with any sort of tweaks or sort of changes, for example, line of sight, or like changing the cast time or anything like that. So I don't really know why mass res is even being discussed at all. It's one potential idea out of so many that the community has offered, where we actually suggest possible tweaks and not just bringing it back in its original pure form. So by not discussing this at all, these sort of videos put Mercy players in a bad light and makes it seem like they're crazy lunatics who just want Mercy to be super OP again, which is not the case.
Well, hold on, because I want to go back to this mass res thing, because I want to remind people what Mercy's gameplay was like in those mass res days, right? Because I spec and commentated a lot of games. Yeah, and the gameplay was literally hiding around corners and hiding in the friggin' spawn. So be careful what you wish for, because you're already complaining about being a little bit bored. Well, imagine just playing hide and go seek for about 40 seconds until everybody dies, and then you get your fun moment. But just be careful with that one.
I'm trying really hard not to be tilted right now because Stylosa and his friend Josh, who is the one talking here, both don't play Mercy and never did. So to say that Mercy 1.0 was just purely hide and seek and hiding in spawn until you can res your teammates is sort of insulting to Mercy players. Yes, there was an element of hiding when the timing was right to get a big res off, but back then Mercy was so much more. She was dynamic, she was fast paced to play. So again, statements like this just puts Mercy players in a bad light.
The fun part of Mercy for me, and the bit where I get my satisfaction, at least in game, is the movement. Like this. It's unbelievably fun when you have a Genji, Tracer, or like maybe in this meta a Diva and like whoever else chasing you down, and you're just juking them. You're just outplaying them so hard. You're like flying left to right, juking, dodging. It's almost like a different game. You're going from like shooting and like having great aim, and that's like your playmaking ability outside of an ult, right? Like a DPS player is looking to have great aim and outplay someone like that. But with Mercy, you're looking to outplay them with your movement, and it's so fun just juking and dodging left and right, hiding between walls, and then flying to a teammate and flying to a teammate, and just evading this Genji that's going crazy trying to kill you with his blade or whatever. That's where like the fun's at for me. Managing that and then being able to heal at the same time is where like Mercy gets her impact. Just being able to stay alive and just dish out that healing.
Did I just hear that right, or did Kruise say the impact of Mercy comes from keeping herself alive and dishing out healing to her teammates? First of all, Mercy can't compete with any competent Ana or Moira player in the healing department. And secondly, while it is fun to fly around to teammates and sort of keep yourself alive, let's not forget that a large part of that comes from being able to super jump, which isn't even meant to be a part of Mercy's kit anyway. I don't see the fun in keeping yourself alive when you're watching the rest of your team drop like flies, because you can't keep up with the power creep that's in the game and the fact that there's so much crowd control and so many other abilities that Mercy just has no counter play for.
Realistically, if you're like staying by the meta, I don't know how ranked is in all elos, but like in my elo, it's goats almost all the time, and you can't play Mercy in the goats. It's just not the pick. It's just like if you have an equally skilled team on both sides, and one team has Mercy and the other team has like Lucio, like the team of Lucio is always gonna win. Like it's not even gonna be close. It's just the meta right now does not favor Mercy, so people are like, I guess, trying to run it in meta and not having that satisfaction.
This is what I mean by this video being contradictory. One moment they're saying that they have impact as Mercy, and then the next they're saying that Mercy shouldn't be played in the current meta because the team that's running Mercy instead of Lucio will always lose. Doesn't this by extension mean that Mercy as well as other heroes need some sort of rework to keep up with how the game is changing? Or does it mean, too bad, suck it up, just don't play Mercy, every hero gets a chance to be in the meta, so if she's not meta, just don't play her? Again, I think this whole interview misses the point. Like, a hero can be engaging and fun to play even if they're not in the meta.
Or like you said, Kruise, if they just give her a little bit more healing, that might just be okay anyway. I don't know. Like, everybody's got their own idea, and that's a big issue.
I'll say this for the one last time, for the people at the back. Mercy is playable right now. She lacks a little bit of healing, but she's playable. But that's not why we want her to be reworked. We want Mercy to have a kit that's as engaging and fun to play as some of the other heroes, such as Moira or Ana, where they have so much going on in their kit, where you feel empowered to really like step it up, and where playing really well as that hero gives you a genuine feeling of reward and feeling like you're making a meaningful impact on the team. You can spin it however you want, but Mercy right now just doesn't have that. And frankly, I don't think that reverting her heals back to 60 HP per second is going to change that. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. This one was a long one to make. I really had to sit down and listen carefully and take notes and see what was actually being said and what I disagreed with. I hope you guys are able to see where I'm coming from. I'm by no means saying that I know more than pro players. They obviously know the game in and out way better than I do because they play at the highest level. But I'm just bringing my perspective to the table as someone who's played and enjoyed this hero since the very beginning of this game, and through all the different iterations of the character. And I also do believe that as someone who plays a lot of solo queue in competitive and doesn't play in scrims or in teams, that my experience in Overwatch is largely reflective of most of the player base. And I really do hope that that counts for something. Honestly, I'm getting really tired of this topic and having to go back and forth and explain why we're doing this whole thing and where people are missing the mark. So this is probably going to be my last video that I make on the whole Rework Mercy movement. I hope you guys found it somewhat enjoyable, and if you're still listening to me talking right now, I truly appreciate it and thank you. Otherwise, have a great day wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.